Hello, guys, and thank you for joining Metanoia Mind Shift. I hope you enjoyed all the episodes. I think 4 episodes so far. It was a trial, a trial run, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I pushed myself to overcome my fears and just put it out. You never know what can happen. So I do hope that in one way or the other, the the recordings helped you. I'm grateful to my friends that were on the podcast in this season. I actually recorded one more episode, but the audio was bad, and that was with my friend, so I couldn't really get much from that. Hopefully, I get to record that episode again with him. But yeah, this is one where you just wanted to say thank you to everybody who listened to the podcast. This first season, I'm really grateful. I hope you found it insightful. And then just to use this as the bonus episode, which I promised, and this would be hosted and delivered by myself, yours truly. And I just wanted also have a chat, right? I don't particularly have any topic prepared, but I just wanted to also have a chat on something that came to mind some few days ago, and I felt okay, I could talk about this, and then let's just see, let me draw inferences from there, let me draw lessons. And because it was what I'm about to talk about, in one way or the other, played a huge role in my approach to life in one way or the other. It was, if at the time when what I'm going to talk about happened, it didn't feel like much, but I can say that there was this silent resolve in my heart to approach it with that made me approach life with a bit more action. Made me to resolve that because of this thing that happened, though, I don't want this to ever happen again in my life. And so yeah, let's just get right into it. Remember to follow the page, remember to like, remember to share. So I think it was in 2016. My friend had just graduated from school, and we I schooled in a city. Can I call it a city? But I schooled in a town called Ilorin in Kwara State, Nigeria. And then I had my secondary school there too, so I knew quite a few people there. And on this particular day, we were going to see an old schoolmate. Right, this my friend had just graduated, and to be honest, even I myself used to admire the way he carries himself. I know for a young boy now that you can already tell the kind of things that made us admire another guy, like in terms of, oh wow, you're a cool guy. Yeah, he had the money, the looks. He's a smart person, not was, because he's still my friend. But anyways, we were going to be visiting another old friend. We all planned to hang out, and I was so excited to see this friend because we used to be very close when we were in school. So I was, although this person arranged a meet with my friend, that's my guy. I don't want to use names because of where this is going. I arranged a meet with my guy, not with me. I was even more excited, right? My guy was just going like, "Oh, okay, this lady said she's going to be here," and I was just excited. This was my friend. It wasn't anything romantic, but was just good friends. Like I believed we had good friendship at the time we were still in school, that is secondary school. So I was so excited to see her. But then when we drove into the mall, and then we were going to see this lady, and oh my, see me with smiles all over. If you know me, you know I'm not I'm not the most expressive person, but on this day I was just so excited, right? And I met I experienced the shock of my life because the reception I got did not match my excitement. And then I saw another way. Maybe the person was just excited for my guy in the fact that I was the one that graduated, right? It's like, oh, like it just gave me a handshake or perhaps, and then went all in to hug this guy. And then throughout the conversation, I just felt like they don't even know me. I'm like, "Ah, now maybe this will," and then just here and there remarks, right? And then it just hit me. Like I said, it appeared to me at the time that one, maybe this friend moved on or didn't, of which I don't think so because of something I'm going to share later on. But it made me really feel little. It because of the appearance of success, as it were, at the time. It seemed like this my old friend, in some sense, shifted allegiance, and because I didn't appear to be someone who, in that sense, was successful, they didn't really look at me. They didn't regard me that I was there at all, and that really pained me. And like I said, subtly, because I was hot, I just saw life that, I mean, that's life. This guy is really looking cool. He just graduated from school, driving a nice car. You get what I'm saying. But I think in terms of appearance, in terms of what people, how that's how people judge, right? They feed off what we show them online. This my guy would probably be. I understand why he would have appeared to be more cool, right? But that hurt me and just made me resolve that, you know what, this is never gonna happen again. So and one thing silently, I just said, well, I think my friend moved on. It's time I move on. It's time to stop beating, fanning a fire that has gone out. So I just, it was painful, but I just moved on. But then, like I said, I just made a resolve in my heart to say that um, I'm never going to allow anybody make me feel this way again, especially based on what I can control. Because don't get me wrong, I'm fine. Over the years, I've learned to be, people always look down on me. That's, like I said in the first episode, I don't have the most striking appearance. So, and I mean, if you know me, even among guys, not even people who are trying to get involved with you romantically, like ladies, even among guys, I'm that guy that if we're in a guy group, maybe we're visiting people, I'm that guy people will just shake their hands and then they'll face other people. A part of it I'm responsible for, maybe because of the way my face is very strong, but I don't know when that has been a problem for guys, but I just, my stature, my demeanor. So I'm that person people can forget is in the room. And over time, I've gotten used to that, to be honest, if I'm saying the truth. And I've even learned how to harness that to work for me. Personally, I don't even like being spotlighted. Like I'm in a room and then you just pick me out of everybody and just sudden, give one sudden remark and everybody's eyes is on me. I don't like that. So because of my personality types, I'm even cool with that. But I'm always that guy. So it's not really a problem of um being not being noticed. I think it was just because of the person or the kind of relationship I believed I had with this person at the time. And my summary or my summation of it was that I didn't look like success. And because of that, I was ignored. So that one I would not take. If you're just ignoring me because you're myopic, if you're just ignoring me because I don't look the part, I don't care. But if someone who I know, or because I'm going into somewhere and people are looking down on me because I didn't make the most of my life, that one would hurt me. So that's when I just made a decision that, well, this is what life looks like. If I already have a disadvantage, quote and unquote, from, I mean, even the Bible says men look at the outward. So you get what I'm saying? We can argue what we want, but that's how life is. Already have that disadvantage. I'm not, people would or normally or just look down on me. If I don't then make a good decision with my life, I just give them more reasons to look down on me. You get my drift. And maybe it's a time to just have a segue to say this, that this is life and this is how you should approach life. There are some part of life you cannot change, and it's important you have an inward look, assess life. How does life work for you? Like the episode I was going to talk about, my friend and I talked about the game of life. You learn the game of life and then you play it. Some people might think that's manipulative, but that's how life works. So in my case, like I said, I've assessed it that you can easily look down on me. So if I go ahead and make the worst decision in my life and end up being nothing, people just have more reasons to look down on me. But if I give them a reason to say, okay, you look down on me, but when you ignore me for a while and realize, well, so imagine this. Imagine you're in a group of friends. They look down on you because you don't look like them. You don't have a muscle and all that. And then suddenly they comes to have a test where mental power is involved, and all of them don't have the answer. And then you say the answer. Eyes begin to look at you like, oh, they begin to, because if they have to survive, they need you. That's how you harness your strength. Yours might be you're just a creative genius. You are there, everybody looks like this small boy, what does he know? But then they give you an assignment and then you outperform the class because you realize that your strength is in your mind. Your strength is not in your own biceps. It's not even in your looks, but is in your mind. People will listen to you. That's the greatest strength ever. Let me just put that out. Like work on the most. I'm not saying you should not work on your looks. I'm not saying you should look shabby, but if you can work on your mind, be that smart guy. I don't care who the person is. They would have to listen to you. So yeah, that also a good segue to do that. But anyways, I made that decision. Fast forward years after, I didn't talk to this friend. That event was painful, but it didn't hurt how I saw them. It didn't make me resolve, say, I'll hate this person for the rest of my life, or because our paths were not going to even cross that much. We didn't have anything to do together. But then years after, I graduated from school, and this is how life is interesting. And if you remember on the episode with Mukhtar, he did mention something. He said, you might have today, you won't have tomorrow. So how you treat people, they say people don't care what you know until they know how much you care, right? If what you say, people might forget, but how you made them feel, they will not forget. So not to say you should keep grudges, but this is how life works. Years after, another scenario played itself, not exactly, but years after, I'm out of school, and then I have this great job, and somehow the news got out, and this lady got to hear, and this person sent me a message, and was all, it felt like it was a flip, was a reverse. The excitement I had that, oh, I'm seeing my friend, she had it this time, sends me a message with all excitement. And to be honest, I wasn't trying to revenge. I was just shocked. How did you suddenly, there's a way we used to, alias we used for each other at the time when we were friends back in school. This person used it. So it made me realize, and that's what I'm saying. So this person actually remembered all that, but for whatever reasons, pretended not to. But years after, when it feels like the tables have turned, you use the same alias at me. And that's what Mukhtar was saying. I'm just using this example, this story to kind of, in not perfect, but to paint to you, this is how life works. People don't have bias against success. It sounds motivational, but it is true. You do well for yourself when you make the most out of your life. So don't let the way people treat you in the now make you feel like, oh, well, nobody likes me. I might as well just do whatever I like with my life. Nobody cares. No, they care. When you succeed, when you become a better person. And I don't want, because of the way being a better person is in this life is very fickle now. Everything is tied to money. Don't let it just be about that. Go the extra mile. Make money, be smart, but be a good person. Don't let how they treat you that affect you. So this person comes back and reacted in a cooler way, reacted, was very warm. And I'm like, is it because you I knew it was because of what she heard, because that was what made her come into my DM to say, oh, I heard this. And it just felt like, really? Really? But that's how life is, right? But then this is the twist. Because in the episode with Marx, I said a lot of things about life not being linear. So you see the flip side of life. I was that guy that I felt like I was just tagging along. So a friend of mine did not care about me and just cared about my friend, ignored me like I wasn't there. Life not being linear was that less than 5 years after that time, it seemed like I'm in a better place. And this same friend suddenly wants to, buddy up, wants to be cool. Ah, hi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. Life not linear. So now this is the twist. I have not arrived in life. At least I'm not Dangote. I'm not Bill Gates. If we use money as a metric, imagine me then saying there that because she cheated me, this and this, I'll be mean towards her. I will cut her off. I'll be deceiving myself to say, okay, that her coming back to me is the perfect opportunity for me to have a revenge. I'll be deceiving myself. So the lesson there is life is not linear. Using that example, I shouldn't be that guy that allowed that to get into my head because I got a job. Really? Because I graduated from school, I immediately got a job in what they would consider in Nigeria, or at the time where I was, which was not even the best job, wasn't the best paying job, but was really good. Imagine I now use that, allow that to get into my head, because that's what a lot of people do. Somebody treated you badly, maybe when you were young, they had money, and then they were mean towards you, and now you have your own money, and then you think you want to revenge. You forget that. I mean, how much do you have? I want to ask you. What have you achieved that you think life cannot flip? And the fact that life flipped that way for you, that you are now in the position they were before, should be enough caution and warning to you to realize that you don't want to be that person to them. Because, I mean, what is special about you that you that did not used to have, you now suddenly have, that it can't be the reverse. What's so special? So think about it. So in that case, I just realized I can't be that guy. Even from a logical point of view, what do I have that will say that? And it's not like the lady herself was doing any bad, right? She was really good, and maybe it was just, and maybe it wasn't even about the fact that she's a bad person. She's probably, maybe at the time she was just excited for this my other friend who just graduated, and I saw it as her being, one-sided. And now again, I'm doing well and she's just excited about my success. I feel like that's a better way to interpret it. And I would rather stick to that than now let that get into my own head and begin to react in a negative way towards her. Because years have passed, she will probably be wondering, this guy is proud. Is it because he got a job? What is even the job that is it because I stooped so low to come and say hello? I was even trying to be nice. Can you see how narratives can change? But I'm saying that if you ever find yourself at that position where life has taken a switch, life has done its thing, and it seems like you have the upper hand, that's not the time to let it get into your head. And again, doesn't mean she was a bad person in my case. In some people's case, in your own case, perhaps how this applies to you, how you can relate, the person might have been a very terrible person. Because there's no way you want to tell me you clearly, when you're in a position of privilege, you stepped upon people, you took advantage, you exploited people. So some of you that are listening to this, that might be the exact scenario you find yourself. And me saying they are not a bad person, you'd be like, no, come on, Olamide, they were bad people. Yes, so they might be bad people, but I'm just saying you can determine your response. Your response to the situation is very, very important. Don't let it get into your head. Even if you are Elon Musk, you're the richest man in the world. Like I said, money is just the metric. we're using to determine this. Even if you were Elon Musk, that 10 years ago, you were the poorest person in your state and somebody trampled upon you, somebody took advantage of you, and then today you are Elon Musk and the person is trying to cuddle up to you. Still determine your response. Don't repay evil with evil. Bounce it back. Don't let it change your person. Remain consistent to remain true to yourself, because in those quiet moments when all the cameras, all the paparazzis are gone and you're lying on your bed, what you would remember is your response. And if you're somebody who cherish being a good person, it would hurt you that you decided to repay evil with good. So that's the episode of today, and that's how I'm going to close out episode 1, season 1. You determine your response to life. Make a conscious decision out of life. Should I tell you what I think is the most successful thing? Like what I consider success, because of how easy it is to make money. Yeah, I said that. Because of how I don't consider the fact that you have money, I don't consider that to mean you're successful. I'm very interested in the quality of people. How do you think? How do you treat others? I don't care how much you have. If you don't treat people well, I don't really rate you, to be honest. I know a lot of people talk about money, but for me, that's how I value life. And even as a personal goal, I want to be rich. I hope to have enough resources, but I don't have an ambition to be rich. I have an ambition to be a good person. It sounds like motivational speech, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Be a quality person. So if you're listening to this, no matter level you are, you're married, you're working, or you're a teenager, let your goal, let your plan be you want to be a good person. And I know people say good is relative and then you will come up with all these nuances, but we all know what it means to be kind. Let's not make things complex. Be a kind person. Be someone who cares about others. Don't be proud. Don't look down on people. Don't exploit people. That's what I'm talking about. If you want me to spell it out. Don't look down on people. Don't trample on people because you've got privilege. Work on the things that matter. Yes, go to the gym, buy new clothes. It makes you look good. As you're working on your outward appearance, work on your inward as well. How do you think? When you hear issues, do you take time to process things, or you just say things carelessly? How do you think about things? How do you respond to people? This is what makes you a good person, and these are the things that matter in life. These are the things that when you lie down in bed would stay with you. When you make $1 billion, no, imagine it. You're the richest man in the world. You're the richest man in the world. What would matter to you then? I know you can't imagine it maybe because of the state you're in, but just try. If you picture yourself as the richest man in the world, and after that, so what next? What next? You begin to hear things like people. That's when people now turn to humanity. They want to be involved in humanitarian deeds and all that. There's a reason why the whole world, we can disagree on the fact that there is a supreme being, which is God, whom I believe, but we can't just explain why somehow innately we are concerned about people. Everybody, no matter what you believe, somehow there is an humanitarian part of us. So you see someone who was poor. I can tell you this because I come from Nigeria, where we see a lot of grass to grace stories. It's very common. We are excited about things like that. And then they might have the worst moral dispositions. They might not be the best people. They might do all sorts you don't agree with. But somehow, there is a part of them that wants to help people. Even the people that exploit people who are corrupt. We have corrupt politicians in my country. There is just that innate That's that thing we can't explain that wants to, they probably maybe set up an NGO or they just dash people money. There is there is somewhere in humans that just want to do good. That's to show you how it matters to us. So people can pretend all they want. These things matter. So when you make all the money, when you travel the world, the things that matter is the quality of your person. And that's why a lot of times people do all those things. That's why people set up an NGO. That's why they would maybe run for a cause, or they would champion a cause maybe by speaking up about it. It's because there's a part of us that is deeply connected to others. And I'm saying to you that are listening to me that why not work on that? Why you make money, why you get your grades, work on that aspect as well. Don't wait till you make money, because if you wait till you make money, you might have done a lot of damage and you now have to start correcting your steps. Respect people, love people. I'm not saying you will not make mistakes along the way. I'm flawed myself. I've made mistakes. As much as I say I'm interested in the quality of people, I'm sure if there's somebody you would probably talk to and they would tell you that I've hurt them, I've offended them. But that's why we grow. Just make sure you make quality decisions. So that's it for season one. I hope this season was helpful. I really hope to see you all on the season two. I want to discuss on more interesting topics. I want to, maybe I should put this out there. I want to talk about puberty. I want to share my perspective of what it looked like, because I feel like people don't talk about these things with guys. Ladies have a lot of advice everywhere. Everybody's talking about it, but nobody's telling a guy. And we've seen a lot of older people make a lot of silly mistakes because they don't talk about these things. So the next season, I want to talk about something like that. I want to talk about puberty in guys, the experience. I even want to talk about, I'm not sure how the direction, but I want to talk about identity crisis. Want to talk about that. So yeah, I I'm glad that you tuned in up to this moment, and I'll catch you on the next episode. And that will be season one. Bye.